Some of cinema's most compelling love stories defy conventional expectations. They explore connections that transcend age, asking whether genuine intimacy can flourish between people at vastly different stages of life. These films examine the complications, the power dynamics, the unexpected tenderness, and sometimes the danger that emerges when generations collide romantically. Today, we're counting down 10 remarkable films that explore relationships between older men and younger women. These aren't simple May-December romances. They're complex character studies that illuminate something profound about human connection. Stay until the end, because our number one pick redefined how cinema portrays unconventional relationships and remains one of the most beautifully melancholic films of the 21st century. Let's get into it. Number 10, Entrapment, 1999. Director John Amiel crafted this stylish heist thriller that pairs two of Hollywood's most magnetic stars across a 39-year age gap. Sean Connery plays Robert McDougal, a legendary art thief suspected of pulling off an impossible museum heist. Catherine Zeta-Jones is Virginia Baker, an insurance investigator determined to catch him in the act. What begins as a cat-and-mouse game evolves into something more complicated as they plan an audacious New Year's Eve robbery together. The film leans into the chemistry between its leads rather than apologizing for their age difference. Connery brings the weight of experience and world-weary charm, while Zeta-Jones matches him with fierce intelligence and physical grace. The famous laser training sequence became iconic for reasons beyond its tension. Entrapment proves that attraction doesn't follow predictable rules, especially when two people share a passion for living dangerously. Number 9, As Good as It Gets, 1997. James L. Brooks directed this romantic comedy that earned Jack Nicholson his third Academy Award. Nicholson plays Melvin Udall, a successful novelist with severe obsessive-compulsive disorder who terrorizes everyone unfortunate enough to cross his path. His life begins to change when he develops feelings for Carol Connolly, a waitress at his regular restaurant, played by Helen Hunt in her Oscar-winning role. The 26-year age gap between the actors adds dimension to their relationship. Carol isn't looking for a father figure. She's an exhausted single mother caring for a chronically ill son, and she sees in Melvin not security, but the possibility of genuine passion with someone who, despite his many flaws, actually sees her. The film handles their connection with surprising tenderness, never suggesting Carol is settling or that Melvin is predatory. They're simply two damaged people who somehow make each other better. Number 8, The Lover, 1992. Jean-Jacques Annaud adapted Marguerite Duras's autobiographical novel into this sensuous, dreamlike exploration of forbidden desire. Set in 1929, French Indochina, the film follows a 15-year-old French girl from a poor colonial family who begins a passionate affair with a wealthy 32-year-old Chinese businessman. Jane March portrays the unnamed girl with a mixture of innocence and knowing sensuality, while Tony Leung Ka-fai brings quiet intensity to a man who understands their relationship can never be socially accepted. The film is controversial by design, unflinching in its depiction of sexuality while remaining genuinely interested in the emotional complexity beneath the physical. Colonial politics, racial taboos, class divisions, and family dysfunction all swirl around the central relationship. The Lover refuses easy judgments, presenting instead a portrait of first love in all its consuming, destructive beauty. Number 7, Atlantic City, 1980. Louis Malle directed this melancholic character study that earned 5 Academy Award nominations. Burt Lancaster, then in his late 60s, plays Lou Pascal, a small-time numbers runner living in the fading glamour of Atlantic City as casinos begin transforming the boardwalk. Susan Sarandon is Sally, a young woman working at an oyster bar while training to become a blackjack dealer, dreaming of escaping to Monte Carlo. When Sally's estranged husband arrives with stolen cocaine, Lou sees an opportunity for one last adventure. The relationship between Lou and Sally develops with unexpected tenderness. She represents everything he never had: youth, ambition, a future. He offers her something equally valuable, someone who sees her dreams as worthy of respect. Lancaster delivers one of his finest late-career performances, finding dignity in a man desperately trying to matter. Their connection feels earned rather than contrived, two lonely people finding warmth in a cold city. Number 6, Crazy Heart, 2009. Scott Cooper's directorial debut earned Jeff Bridges his long-overdue Academy Award for Best Actor. Bridges plays Otis "Bad" Blake, a 57-year-old alcoholic country singer reduced to performing in bowling alleys and dive bars across the Southwest. His former protege Tommy Sweet, played by Colin Farrell, now fills stadiums while Bad can barely fill his gas tank. Everything changes when he meets Jean Craddock, a young journalist and single mother played by Maggie Gyllenhaal. Their romance develops with the slow warmth of a country ballad. Jean sees past Bad's failures to the genuine talent and broken heart underneath. Bad finds in her and her young son something worth fighting sobriety for. The 28-year age gap between the actors adds authentic weight to their relationship. This isn't a fantasy of the older man recapturing youth. It's a story about whether someone that far gone can still find redemption, and whether love alone is enough to save him. Number 5. Sabrina, 1954. Billy Wilder directed this enchanting romantic comedy that paired Audrey Hepburn with Humphrey Bogart in one of Hollywood's most unlikely pairings. Hepburn plays Sabrina Fairchild, the chauffeur's daughter who has spent her life pining for David Larrabee, the charming younger son of a wealthy Long Island family. After a transformative stay in Paris, she returns sophisticated and stunning, finally catching David's attention. But his older brother Linus, a workaholic businessman played by Bogart, decides to intervene. Bogart was 30 years older than Hepburn, and critics at the time questioned the pairing. Yet something magical happens on screen. Linus's gradual awakening to Sabrina's charm and his own buried capacity for romance becomes genuinely moving. The film suggests that sometimes the person we need isn't the one who makes our heart race, but the one who truly understands us. Wilder remade the magic of this story work, despite, or perhaps because of, its unconventional romantic geometry. Number 4. Phantom Thread, 2017. Paul Thomas Anderson's exquisite period drama features Daniel Day-Lewis in what he declared would be his final screen performance. Day-Lewis plays Reynolds Woodcock, a renowned 1950s London dressmaker whose fastidious lifestyle leaves little room for human connection. His carefully ordered world is disrupted when he meets Alma, a young waitress played by Vicky Krieps, in a countryside restaurant. He takes her on as his muse, his model, and eventually his lover. What follows is a gothic romance about power, control, and the strange accommodations love requires. The age gap between the characters becomes central to their dynamic. Reynolds expects compliance from the women who pass through his life. Alma refuses to disappear. Their battle of wills takes unexpected turns that transform the film from character study into something far more subversive. Day-Lewis and Krieps create a relationship that is, by turns, tender, toxic, and ultimately transcendent. Phantom Thread asks what we're willing to sacrifice and accept for love. Number 3. An Education, 2009. Lone Scherfig directed this coming-of-age drama that earned Carey Mulligan her first Academy Award nomination. Set in 1961 suburban London, the film follows Jenny Meller, a 16-year-old preparing for Oxford entrance exams while dreaming of sophistication beyond her parents' modest aspirations. Her world transforms when she meets David Goldman, a charming older man played by Peter Sarsgaard, who introduces her to jazz clubs, art auctions, and weekend trips to Paris. The film is adapted from journalist Lynn Barber's memoir about her own teenage seduction by a similar figure. An Education refuses to demonize David entirely, or to absolve him. He represents genuine possibility for Jenny, an escape from the suffocating expectations of post-war English girlhood. But the film never lets us forget that he's also a predator who targets vulnerability. Mulligan is extraordinary as a young woman intoxicated by new experiences while slowly recognizing the cost of her education. The film explores how charm can mask exploitation without simplifying its characters into heroes and villains. Number 2. Manhattan, 1979. Woody Allen wrote and directed this love letter to New York City that remains one of his most visually stunning and emotionally complex works. Allen plays Isaac Davis, a 42-year-old television comedy writer dating Tracy, a 17-year-old high school student played by Mariel Hemingway. Their relationship exists alongside Isaac's complicated feelings for Mary, a journalist played by Diane Keaton who is having an affair with his best friend. Gordon Willis's gorgeous black and white cinematography transforms the city into a character, while Gershwin's music provides romantic grandeur. The film is undeniably problematic by contemporary standards, yet it grapples honestly with its central moral question rather than avoiding it. Isaac knows his relationship with Tracy is inappropriate even as he pursues it. The film's famous final scene suggests that youth and idealism may be more valuable than the sophisticated cynicism adults mistake for wisdom. Manhattan asks uncomfortable questions about age, power, and the stories we tell ourselves to justify our desires. Number 1, Lost in Translation, 2003. Sofia Coppola's masterpiece earned her an Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay and remains the definitive film about connection across generational lines. Bill Murray plays Bob Harris, a fading American movie star in Tokyo to film a whiskey commercial. Scarlett Johansson is Charlotte, a recent Yale graduate accompanying her celebrity photographer husband who barely acknowledges her existence. Both suffer from insomnia. Both feel profoundly disconnected from their lives. They find each other in the hotel bar and begin an unlikely friendship that deepens into something neither can quite name. The 34-year age gap between Murray and Johansson is essential to the film's emotional texture. This isn't a story about seduction or romantic conquest. It's about two souls recognizing something kindred in each other at moments when both feel invisible. Coppola never sexualizes their relationship, instead finding something more intimate in their conversations, their karaoke sessions, their quiet companionship through Tokyo's neon nights. The film's famous whispered ending refuses to provide closure, trusting audiences to understand that some connections exist outside conventional categories. What Bob and Charlotte share may not be romance as we typically define it, but it's undeniably love. And there you have it, 10 films that explore relationships between older men and younger women with nuance, complexity, and genuine emotional intelligence. These movies refuse easy answers. They acknowledge power imbalances while recognizing that connection can flourish in unexpected places. They show us that love doesn't always follow the rules we expect. What these films share is a commitment to treating their characters as fully human rather than as symbols or cautionary tales. The best of them understand that age gap relationships raise complicated questions precisely because love itself is complicated. Which of these films resonates most with you? Are there any we missed that deserve a spot on this list? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss our deep dives into cinema's most complex love stories. Until next time, keep watching